Welcome to Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. We are live on Twitch and YouTube, and you can go there and watch us as well. Just search for @Tom and Dan Live.
With us on Zoom is our good friend, comedian Vince Taylor. How you doing, Vince?
What's going on, world? Are we still alive? We good?
Barely. We're here, though. We're breathing. We're good.
So Vince is from the, of course, the podcast New Blurred Order.
You couldn't read your handwriting. I saw that. I saw that. He got in there, and he's like, new? He said new was right, but blurred. He's like, what did I write? New blood? New blood?
Yeah, did I write the B word?
Hey, say it.
And then I was like, his podcast is called Podcast New Blurred Order? That's how stupid.
Go check out the New Blurred Order and tell us a little bit about your show. For those that may not have ever, loaded it up, what is the New Blurred Order all about?
Well, the New Blurred Order, I mean, it's a show where we as nerds talk about nerdy stuff. You know, right now, Penguin is hot. Yes. DC Comics has this really dope show. Just had a season finale not too long ago, competing with Marvel in the Agatha All Along series, which just had a season finale as well. And there's a whole lot of stuff that goes on in Nerd Universe, and just folks like me who are kind of weird and quirky and didn't really get a chance to talk about it out loud, do it on this show. Now, the blurred thing, as you know, comes from me being black, and hopefully that's...
it's apparent. It's apparent. If you're watching, it is apparent.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. I mean, but y'all watch these things too, so don't sit there and try to act like I'm the only geeky one in here. Like,
no.
Me and Dan have sat and popped out, man, and I know Tommy's still working on getting them kids Marvelized and indoctrinated, you know what I'm saying?
He got it. They're there, right?
We watch every single Marvel movie, although the past, I think we've gotten past Endgame. We've seen all the Guardians. And now it's like we skip the girl ones. My boys, they're like, Miss Marvel. What does she do? Oh my God. Yeah. So and then now we're
Miss Marvel and the dish rag of doom.
And the Iron Claws. This is freaking
I will say that. And the villainous vacuum.
In the household chores. I think that this current state of Marvel is passable. Like, a lot of folks ain't really messing with it, but this DC show is up your alley, bro. Like, Tommy, like, I swear to God, like this, like, you were like Sopranos, right? Like, y'all in the Sopranos.
I love, like, that would have been a little bit more, like, I watched that when it was hot and followed it and was on the air when it was hot, and we would talk about it every week. Like, I still have unanswered questions from that show, but yes, I have heard, like, just, my ear on the streets is everybody says Penguin is where it's at. Like, that is
what streets is you in, Dan?
Yeah, it's more like a subdivision. I've got my ear on the subdivision, on the streets of the subdivision. They're more like...
The cul-de-sac is talking right now, right?
Yeah.
They're the pressure-washed streets of Baldwin.
Yeah, they're so clean. They're lily white. The lily white streets of Baldwin.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie, because Dan does give me like Ed and Eddie's Suburbs vibes a little bit, you know what I'm saying? So I'm definitely sure there's a water hose being jumped through on somebody's lawn every summer with you.
And what a great show. That show, and it still holds up. If you ever catch Ed and Eddie reruns, or if you can watch it, go watch it. Very inappropriate, still holds up.
See,
was it me? Was it just me, or were Jawbreakers like a euphemism for crack on that show? Like they went a little hard for Jawbreakers.
Yeah, Jawbreakers. You know what? I'm glad you brought this up. I'm gonna pontificate. I'm gonna pontificate on Jawbreakers for a second because they came up in Bob's Burgers. Jawbreaker, the candied Jawbreaker, is a trope that is used in cartoons a lot, but no kids eat Jawbreakers.
Whoa, flag on the play.
It's not a thing.
False.
We never ate them. Like, no Florida kid, like, none of my friends ever ate Jawbreakers. You see on Bob's Burgers, the kids have the everlasting gobstopper, the Jawbreaker. Nobody.
Yeah, they got.
It's not a thing.
Yes, you did.
The big
one. Yeah, we used to sell Jawbreakers.
No.
What are you talking about?
Wasn't
man?
a thing.
We sold them.
I never had it. I was now and laters. We had now and laters. That's all
we had. Now and laters. Yeah.
Tearjerkers. Do we have tearjerkers, warheads? Did you have Jawbreakers, Tom?
See, the problem with the Jawbreaker is that you have it in your mouth, and then you're tired of it after hours.
So you have to wrap it in cellophane.
You spit it into a napkin or whatever, and then when you go to like suck on it later,
it's got paper.
Yeah, it's got
That's why you put it in cellophane.
Yeah. Well, I'm too
stupid.
lazy, too stupid, and so and then I'm like, I just want chocolate.
Yeah, well, the chocolate, I don't know. All I heard was suck on it later. So I'm glad we can have that for editing. But yeah, man, I remember selling all of these different candies, so I'm surprised that y'all didn't have these. I mean, I guess we don't see them in Halloween anymore, so it is what it is.
No, it's not really a thing anymore. Okay, so let's go. Let's jump back to it for a second. Penguin, you saw the final episode. As good as people are saying, and now Colin Farrell is saying.
Oh my God!
He's in for a second season, right? Isn't he saying he is?
He's gonna win awards. Like I predicted this. Really? Nobody was asking for Penguin. Nobody was looking for it, and that's what makes it better. When you have expectations, you want things to be the way you expected them. Nobody had zero expectations of Penguin because nobody was asking for it, and so they're brilliant enough to make this off-screen character who really isn't the main villain in this show, and they make a show that is comprised of a bunch of misfits. So there's no real way to determine who to root for in this show because they're all scumbags. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, you might get some good glimmering hope from some of the characters, like, oh, there's some things, some good qualities, but for the most part, they all like, oh my God, these scumbags. And so that's what makes it interesting. And there's no superpowers, very little green screen, and there's no Batman. So they can make a really compelling story without even having to include the actual character that the story is based around. That's when you know it's good. And let's give Colin Farrell his credit because this dude is in complete latex, whatever, what they call it, my brain. I did a lot of stuff when I was younger to keep my memory not as good as it used to.
Prosthetic.
Prosthetics, all that.
He's got a ding-dong nose.
The ding-dong nose, exactly. And that's what's going to get him the awards. Yeah. The ding-dong nose award is on the way. Like, and it's not just that he looks like some weird dude. His accent, his mannerisms, his fully embodiment of the character Penguin or Oswald Cobb or Oswald Cobblepot, depending on how far you go back, is completely ridiculous for somebody who has not been embedded in the comic book world. Now, don't forget, I think last time we were here, we even talked about the fact that this ain't his first time in a comic book movie. He was Bullseye in the illustrious Daredevil with Ben Affleck and Elektra, which was trash. Yeah. But he was there.
Yeah, he was there. He's done it before. And I have heard that the show though is that, and they're already trying to get ready for a part 2 or like a second season, right? They're they think they found the secret sauce.
It's that good, bro.
Now, is there an essence of Batman in there? Like, is he ever mentioned at all, or is there?
Honestly, I'm a big proponent in like level expectations, so I'm gonna say nothing. Okay, I want you to watch it from start to like literally. Like, this is a perfect show for folks who get tired of people talking about comic book shows because it's not really. If you don't know anything about Batman, Penguin, don't know nothing about nobody, and you just like good TV or good productions,
that's good.
This is a good production.
All right.
So yeah, Tommy, it's up your alley, bro. You ain't gotta like it, and ain't no girls in it like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's all up for you. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna watch it. And now what I'm afraid of though is, and this happens with a lot of shows, is the first season is good. And they wrote it out, and someone took a long time thinking about it and writing it. And now that it's a hit, they're like, give us more. So then all of a sudden you yell, give us more to the writer. And he's like, well, it took me 5 years to write the first one. And then you're like, we need it in 3 months.
Yeah, crap it out.
And then so now, and they're like, we need more Batman and we need Mr. Freeze.
Yeah.
And then they start,
and then next thing you know, Lady Gaga's in there singing it up. We got a big old hunk of crap.
So like the people said they want more of this, and they, so then the writer feels pressure, and then the season 2, and they're like, and draw it out because we want to make more money. So draw season 2.
Season 2 is only going to be half of season 2.
And then it's very House of Dragons where you're sitting there waiting for something to happen, and then all of a sudden no dragon fight at the end. All this for nothing.
Well, that's next.
Wow.
Half season.
We know. Well, that's all for nothing.
All right.
And then you get mad. So
that's
I'm
a lot.
afraid.
That's a lot to download, Vince.
We really got close just now. Like, that was a heartfelt, legit monologue, bro. I didn't know you was really going through it.
He's a House of Dragons.
Yeah, I didn't even know he was into it.
Oh, he loves it.
Yeah, that's what's up.
He loves it.
So
it makes him and his wife horny. That's what he told me privately. He told me privately the House of Dragons makes him and his wife horny.
Although the incest, it's not.
That's your problem. You don't pick and choose. You don't pick your kink. It picks you.
It bothers my wife more. I think that's from years of taboo watching on the movies.
Years of something. Yeah, I was about to say. Incest is hot right now.
Like at this point, I'm desensitized by stepdaughters. If I already had it.
Sometimes you got to give your stepdaughter a massage. It's just the way it goes.
Yeah, or stepmom, anything step at this point.
Or bratty. Or even bratty. Bratty MILF, bratty sibling.
Or if your hand gets caught in the washing machine.
Oh, yes. Or if you're underneath a glass coffee table that would only be in a porn director's house.
Oh, my God. And did you notice that abortions are okay if it's incest involved? That's the one loophole nobody's ever really seemed to jump through.
Wow, Vince going hard.
Yeah. We're just here talking about getting stuck here.
We're just talking about porno.
All right. Oh, my bad.
By the way, I don't worry about that because I'm already gone.
Also, this is just, I don't know if there's any directors of these style porns listening.
I can direct one for you.
But
what do you need?
When you do the shot from under the glass table, I see that her hand is not really stuck. It's just.
Well, you're looking at the wrong thing.
Well, no, I'm just saying it's barely like she just has
she's just resting it on the shag rug.
Like I see that you're not stuck.
Yeah. I see the key grip in the background. He's holding the microphone.
And it's odd that you weren't more surprised that your stepson pulled your pants down. Like you see,
I would call 911. Like if I were in that position, like if the tables were turned, if I had my hand stuck,
you're not squirming at all.
If I had my hand stuck at a glass coffee table, and then my nephew Vince Taylor came in and pulled my pants down, I would call 911. I'd be like, "Sir, call 911." Like I'd call the cops. I'd be like, "This man's assaulting me."
You'd be like, "What?"
Fellas, yeah, this is way too deep. Okay, I gotta get in on this conversation.
We wanted to take our relationship to the next level, but we're not ready yet.
I want to be a part of the combo. I need you to post a link in the private chat. Give me about 5 minutes, and I'll be back a little later, and I'll come back and we'll talk about it.
Sorry, Vince. You mentioned I want to talk to.
No, please continue.
I want to talk about Daredevil because you mentioned it, and I saw a list of new Marvel movies and Marvel-related movies coming out next year, and Daredevil was on the list, coming out March of 2025. And so, who's gonna be the Daredevil? The same one?
Yeah, Daredevil is played by Charlie Cox, all right, the same one who was playing Daredevil in the Netflix series. The only question we have now is, will it be as intense, as bloody, as violent as the original Daredevil? One thing we've noticed is that Disney, since they just released Deadpool they've been releasing Deadpool and some of the rated R stuff including Logan on Disney Plus, that they're not afraid to go there, but it still feels weird, right? Because it's Disney.
It does feel weird.
And it's just weird to have like bloody stuff and like, Disney, like my real question is, when they're putting the R-rated stuff, when the real sexual stuff comes out, do they also allow that? Because I noticed that they're okay with the words and the violence, but nothing sexual as of yet. So I don't know, man. If Monsters Ball ever comes to Disney Plus, like, I really want to see what happens with that. But right now, the Daredevil coming to Disney is a bit of a let's see what happens, because a lot of us really like those 10-minute long fight scenes that we got on Netflix where he get out the elevator or he knock folks out in the hallway.
Yeah.
And I'm just a little leery about that happening on Disney. So we'll see what happens, man. But another point, if I could.
Yeah.
Let's move this forward. In the world of Marvel, what was recently put out there is the fact that Denzel, or as he calls it, Denzel, is finally open to playing a role in a Marvel movie. And I want to know how y'all feel about this.
I mean, like, I think anytime you have an actor that's that incredible that is into it, I think you have to do it. Like, when you have, like, for me, and this is just me taken from, like, talent. Like, when you look at Robert Downey Jr., when you look at these guys that are really good actors, I feel like if what's the guy? Oh, Bill the Butcher. I feel like if he said, "Hey, I want to do a Marvel movie,"
people would be freaking out.
But I almost feel like you have to do it because you have to at least give him a shot. And I feel like Denzel. Now, I wish it had been younger Denzel, but hey, we don't get to pick and choose that. I'm open to it just because I think he's an incredible actor. How do you feel about it?
I don't like it.
Okay, all right.
And that's weird. It's weird for me to say that because
give me that.
I love Denzel.
Why don't you like
I love Denzel.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's because I hold Denzel in this really high regard. He's like top 5 dead or alive actors.
Okay.
And I feel like top 5 dead or alive actors have managed to kind of stay away from the comic book realm, so to speak.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to like down the comic. I love, don't get me wrong. I love Downey, Chadwick Boseman. Look, it's not like this dampers their ability to perform. But I just don't know, like me seeing, like Denzel playing Dormammu or coming in some weird costume and like it just doesn't. I'd rather have my vision of him as old boy from Training Day or with Mo Better Blues or from or even like any of these other movies that he played in. When I start to think of him in a costume with powers and stuff like that, I know Equalizer was a thing. I know Eli, the Book of Eli was a thing.
Yeah.
But I just don't know if I want Denzel fighting like a talking raccoon or a tree. You know what I'm saying? I don't. It just doesn't. It doesn't sit with my soul. I'm definitely able to be proved wrong, but I don't know. Something it's icking me.
No, I get it, and I respect that opinion. Is it kind of like when Samuel L. did Star Wars, and it just like it felt weird, like if you look at the picture, even now, like to me it looks weird, and maybe it's because of all the jokes we did, and maybe it's because of what's the movie, the most famous one he was in,
Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction.
Thank you. Pulp Fiction.
Well, Samuel,
but like when you look at that, okay, you take the screenshot of the council during the round or whatever, however you want to take it, and when you see him at the time, and because he is such an iconic star in my brain, when I saw it, I'm like, whoa, it's a joke.
It took you out of it.
It does. And so is that kind of like you? It's like when you put Denzel and he's dressed like a Hawkman. He's got wings and he's got and then you're like, no.
Nah, let me tell you. First of all, how dare you speak ill of Mace Windu of this sort? I got a lightsaber here right now. If we was in the studio, you might have just got sliced. So let's just let that be a thing. For me, it's not that. It's that if Denzel, I would look. His mama called him Denzel. I'm gonna call you Denzel. I don't care if I don't know if y'all seen the memes online, but he evidently his real pronunciation of the name is Denzel, but we just want to call him Denzel. That's what we do. You know what I'm saying?
It's like when Filatowski said, "No, I'm sorry, it's Filatowski," and we're like, "Oh my God, we've been doing it for 30 years."
So
yeah,
why did he come out and say that so long after we've all been saying Denzel? Why say it now?
I don't know. I guess nobody ever asked him. I'll never ask. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what you gotta put the hyphen on his name or something, man, because it's giving me DeLand from D-Land or whatever. We change names like that.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, Dan. Samuel L. Jackson from Jump was grinding, and he was willing to work on crazy movies. Yeah. We saw this dude in Black Snake Moan. You know what I'm saying? We saw this dude in Snakes on a Plane. Yeah. Samuel L. Jackson is here to work. He's not here to try to make his image look a certain way. He played a racist slave.
Yeah.
All right. In a movie with Leo DiCaprio called Django, of course. So I didn't have this, he's up here. Don't get me wrong, he is. But I'm also still thinking of Samuel L. Jackson from Coming to America, who tried to rob Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall and got put on his back with the broomstick. Go back and watch it again if you're not familiar. Now, I don't see Denzel doing that. I see him avoiding roles like that. Gotcha. I see him conscientiously saying, no, I'm here to get the award. I'm here to get the accolades. I'm here to keep myself at this level on some Leonardo DiCaprio type stuff. And I believed it. I was like, well, maybe that's right. Maybe he should keep himself from doing these things. Sure. He's not Idris Elba. He's not any of these. He is on another level. And so now in his 60s, 70s, being like, all right, well, F it. You know what I'm saying? I guess, we're down to the end of the line.
Well,
it just doesn't
that makes sense.
And I know that I'm going to get for this. You know what I'm saying?
No, you're good.
Something just don't feel right about it, but good luck. I'm going to still watch it.
No, it's like everybody's got their opinion. It's like, no, I absolutely get what you mean, especially because I feel like that's an actor that's close to you and means a lot to you. So that makes sense. That makes sense to me.
Yeah. I got another question for y'all.
Please.
I wish I could throw this. I should have sent y'all this this picture. But did y'all see the Dark Knight Christopher Nolan series with Christian Bale and Heath Ledger as the Joker? Did y'all see that?
Yeah, I mean the original movie. Yeah.
Not the original, but the Dark Knight. Yeah, all three of them. Yeah, the Batman Begins, the Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Batmobile in that movie, Warner Brothers is now selling 10 models of these Batmobiles for about $10 million each. So 10 of these will be driven somewhere in the world on the street. My question is, if y'all had the money, would you buy this Batmobile?
So I I remember
they're like Cybertrucks look so bad. It's time. We're good. We can do these. We can do the Batmobiles. They'll get less heat.
It seems like
them is ugly cars.
Yeah, it's not practical.
Well, this is happening like way late, right? Like the hype between. I remember when that movie.
It's like everybody can own the General Lee from Dukes of Hazzard. It's like, well, we're already through that. It was racist. We changed the flag. Well, no more.
When The Dark Knight came out, I remember like, oh, it's the new version
with
of the
Batmobile.
Tires, right? Yeah, it was like a
It's like a tank.
It's like a fat.
It's like a more military vehicle. Like
not that pussy Batmobile with the fins on it.
Yeah.
Fins on it like a 1950s. What are you going? What are you going to sock up? What are you going to take some ass?
You a Batmobile like you got a drop top. Like, come on, bro. Yeah. Like, you ain't learned that.
The original Batmobile looks like a 6'4" Impala.
Yeah.
It literally, like, it needs some spokes on it.
It looks like 20,000 leagues under the sea bubbles that you go into the water.
I just wonder, like, if they had this in real life on the streets, like, if I ordered, like, Uber XL and it pulled up, like, how would I feel? Or, like, if this is this type of thing that can only be put in, like, a museum, do somebody drive this? Are you dropping off your kid at soccer practice in the Batmobile? Like, what do you do if you had $10 million to buy a Batmobile? It's not your only car.
They're never nice, though. They're never, and what I mean by that is these production cars, they're always like on the exterior looks cool for like shots and stuff.
Oh,
but the interior of it's always like, well, we steer it with the controller from, like, it looks like that submarine that died. You know, it's like,
you got a turn key?
Yeah, we steer it with a Nintendo controller, the original Nintendo.
You're inside of it, and you're like, whoa, this thing has missiles, and you're like, that's just a sticker.
There's nothing.
Like nothing actually does anything the Batmobile does. It just is essentially a working movie prop.
Yeah.
So like,
oh wow.
And it'll run, but it's like it has to run off diesel.
And it's slow.
It's
very slow.
Yeah, it's so heavy.
You know what?
And you gotta like reverse like this. You still gotta do the.
Yeah. You know what I would do?
There's no rear view.
Because I still don't understand what this place is, and I think it would fit in perfectly there, I would donate it to Deezerland. Because I don't know what Deezerland is. I don't know what it does.
What is that spot?
No one knows. No one knows what it looks. I think if I pulled up with a Batmobile, they'd be like, "We've been waiting for you."
That is like the most. It's the weirdest indoor outdoor mall.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like, do you want glow in the dark golf in a Batmobile? Yes, I do. Well, you got it.
Is it D-head Deezers? No. It means nothing. Someone's last name.
Have you ever been there? You ever been to Deezerland?
Yeah, my family took me there for my birthday.
Okay.
Of all things.
All right. What'd you think?
And
hold on.
Did you meet it in Deezers?
Hold on. Your family thought that Vince Taylor.
Nothing says Vince Taylor like Deezerland.
Yeah, hold on.
Yeah.
Look, I want everybody watching this, and I know that a lot of people listen, but if you're watching this, look at Vince Taylor.
He does not look like a Deezer. You don't look like a Deezer
and
to
then
me.
think about his family, like, you know what Vince Taylor will want?
Deezer is an old dickhead white guy, right? That's a Deezer.
The Deezerland.
Is that true?
No, Tom Berman made that up.
There's the Bass Pro Shop, some vintage cars. There's a burnout front ruckers.
I'm not doing this with you. Yo. I literally don't know. Like, you walk in and you don't know what to do. You're like, all right, do I get a hot dog?
Nobody even there knows what to do. They're like, we have.
Okay, back to Marvel, Vince. Because I want to ask you this.
Yeah, we have limited time with Vince, so.
So I was looking at other movies that are coming out, and I stumbled upon a new Avengers movie. And then I was like, oh, new Avengers? And this one's called Doomsday, right? Avengers Doomsday. And I was like, wait, there was already an Endgame.
Yeah, they're like wrestling, like Starrcade, Bash at the Beach.
And then I'm like,
WrestleMania.
Is it all just going to be end of the world and
Judgment Day?
So why
is it
Last Dance?
Is it messing with you that Endgame has something after it? It's like Never Ending Story Part 2. Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, how is there a Part 2
Wait, what's this one called? Doomsday?
It's called Doomsday, but I was like, we already saw the end game, and then that's
the
got
end of that game.
But
that game's over.
It's a new game now, and this is
a whole new game.
Very doomish.
Yeah, but when you theme the Avengers like the end of time,
you're starting to see my side.
And then just come up. Why don't I do something?
You're starting to see my side of how uncreative and dumb a lot of this stuff is.
So Vince,
yeah.
What is Doomsday?
Okay, so point taken. Endgame definitely was the end of an era. Understood that. I mean, I'm speaking just in general terms. Endgame was the finale of a phase. Marvel puts out their movies in phases, right? So Endgame, if I'm not mistaken, was the end of phase 3 for Marvel. And then they go into phase 4, which included the multiverse. In the first 3 phases were all about for the most part, Thanos. And so the end game was the game of Thanos wanting to go ahead and take out half of the population of the entire universe because, hey, ain't enough space. We ain't all gonna make it, you know what I'm saying? So be them. Now they move forward from that. And here's the problem, Tom. Doomsday is a bit of a scramble to get something together in the event of a tragedy, which was Jonathan Majors having his big issue with the white woman that he was messing with. Excuse me, the one. Well, she was white. She was a white woman, and he was messing with her. So that's true.
You can say anything.
Yeah,
you can say cracker ass cracker. You can say honky.
I would have liked it better if you said cracker ass cracker, because that's
what Tommy said.
Yeah,
because I mean, the whole thing is, I ain't trying to, side with domestic violence, but I mean, she clearly, chased after him. If you watch the videos, and I mean, he tried to get himself out of the situation, but maybe it was too late by that point. But yeah, you should never put your hand on a woman. Let's just go ahead and say that. But as a result of that whole thing, the entire Phase 5 was supposed to be based around that Kang character. Even the Kang dynasty, there were multiple Kangs. But since that public relations nightmare, they had to switch gears and go to a completely different character. And where they go to what works, which is Robert Downey Jr. So you're sitting there talking about this new Avengers movie with Doomsday, but they're recycling their stars, and they're going to use Tony Stark. Well, he's not Tony Stark now. He's going to be, I guess he's supposed to be Victor Von Doom.
Are they going to?
This is still Robert Downey Jr. They just gave him some. I mean, he's literally like playing the whole dude from Tropic Thunder. I don't know if you remember when he was a black guy, but he was a white guy. Like they're doing the whole switcheroo thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we're really feeling it.
Are they making him be like? Is it a multiverse where he is Tony Stark and he becomes Doctor Doom, or is?
I bet that's it. Yeah.
Like he becomes an evil Tony Stark.
That is yet to be seen. We don't know. We can speculate. That's the fun of it with Marvel. I mean, as long as their productions are good, I would assume that's more than likely the case since we are still in the multiverse. But hopefully this is the end, because the multiverse has caused Marvel a lot of problems, if I'm being honest. Like the fact that nobody is really dead now is a little bit disconcerting. Like you want some people to actually die. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
They killed Loki 3 times, bro. You know what I'm saying? And then some of the characters that you really want, you're like, oh, they're dead. Oh, for real? So Captain America is gone. Scarlet Witch is gone.
Yeah.
Like,
personally,
they're gone.
Personally, I want Rocket Raccoon gone. I want him dead. Yeah, I hate him. He's stupid.
But
I want to make a hat out of him. I'll wear him as a hat.
but
you're not gonna wear Rocket. You're not Davy Crockett.
I'll wear him as I'll wear Rocket. I'll be Rocket Crockett. That's what that's called. I'll be a whole new. Put me in the multiverse. I'm a little dad that lives in Orlando who just happens to accidentally kill Rocket Raccoon. I make a hat out of him, and they gives me, and then I got a big gun or something. I don't know. I'm just shooting.
Why would you want to skin the only Guardians of the Galaxy member that you can look in the eye?
I kill him accidentally, right? I back over him in my car. I just back over.
Like
full self-driving. It just backs over this raccoon.
You're not gonna make roadkill out of a Guardian of the Galaxy, bro. Let's go ahead. Let's cut the cap on.
Well,
let's cut it.
See, that's the thing about starting up with multiverse is that once you went multiverse, now you have an infinite amount of stories and storylines, which is kind of a cheating and a little bit of a cop out. But they're like, who cares? We are a multi-billion-dollar corporation, and we need to put these. So we're gonna save money by Robert Downey Jr. being Dr. Doom and Iron Man.
We got budget Doom.
He's gonna be fighting himself in the future, and
we'll just use AI. We'll just do AI Dr. Doom.
And if you want Captain America back, guess what? We'll have what was the guy that could make the circle portals?
Doctor Strange.
Crazy.
We'll have Doctor Strange. He'll go into a different alternative universe where Captain America didn't decide to get old and live his life with his girlfriend. He decided to be Captain America, and we'll bring him back because they can do whatever they want, right?
And I'm sure one of these universes, like Wakanda, is all white. and like he's White Panther. It's a whole like I bet you like there's some place where things is just not going the way they are going on Earth. So they're going to explore these universes. I want to see some of the crazy
Pig
stuff too.
Panther.
That was the whole joke with the multiverse. There's a pig Spider-Man. There's infinite universes.
You know the funny thing about Spider-Ham, Peter Porker. You know he's actually a spider that was bitten by a pig.
That's pretty funny. I remember I still have some issues of the original Spider-Ham, Peter Porker. Like that was my generation of them making fun of it, but still doing actual full comic books about it.
Vince, before we run out of time, I did see this, and this is coming out in October of next year, 2025. So we got a while.
Is it gonna be spooky?
It's Marvel Zombies.
I'm into that.
And I saw that, and I was like, what is that?
I'd be into that.
So do you have any idea what this is?
Yeah, well, Marvel Zombies is a spinoff, and I'm gonna be honest, it's one of those otherworld comic book series where it doesn't really have any relevance to the main stories, so it's kind of like one-offs. They did give a glimpse of it. If you watch season 2 of What If, there was a zombie episode. I'm not honestly really looking that forward to the zombie stuff unless they give us a really, really crazy villain like they did in What If. But Marvel Avengers and these characters have taken on like Galactus and Thanos and people that are larger than the planet Earth. And now we're dealing with dead people that don't have brain. I mean, it just doesn't, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't. So I can't wait to see what they say about it. But in all honesty, it's something that we have to wait to see what it is that they really do with that project. But it'll be animated. So we have to, I don't think you have to worry about
Tom hates cartoons.
He's like, that's for pussies. Yeah, I get it.
I thought this was a direct result to the popularity of the last Doctor Strange, where they had who's that famous director of horror movies? They had him direct the
Sam Raimi.
Okay,
yeah. He's huge
because it was like a zombie movie at the end where they get zombie Doctor Strange and like and people liked it and they did a good job.
He did a good job with that.
And then I thought, they were gonna, because they were so popular, they're just gonna do a whole zombie. Because that genre still makes money. People go see
Call
a zombie.
of Duty. I'm playing the new Call of Duty. You're running around. Next thing you know, you're fighting zombies. I'm like, God damn it! I thought we.
I love it.
I get sick of zombies and they scare me sometimes, Vince. And I thought I was going to do some good old fashioned shooting up Saddam's palace. Next thing you know, I'm in there shooting up Saddam's palace and they gas me. And now everybody's zombies. And now I'm fighting zombies.
Is Saddam's palace really on there?
Yeah, you see the toilet and you're shooting. There's pictures of Saddam everywhere, and it's crazy. It's a good game. What is that? Black Ops 6? Not bad. It's free right now.
You could build any hiding space in the world. You had unlimited money, and you chose a hole in the front of your palace. That's always. I was always mad at that. Like you had.
I always thought it was brilliant. He was right there, right under their nose, and he'd grown a full bushy porn beard.
Like you couldn't have a helicopter take you to something, like what? I thought there would be some place where the ultra bad guy.
I also
could
want
hide.
to point out how happy my dad was they found Saddam. I think my dad I've seen my dad dance around.
And how come these terrorists, they never bring a set of clippers when they go hide out? They always look so befuddled.
Grow it out
whenever they come out them hoes, bro.
You
keep yourself shaped up a little bit. You know you finna get the public execution. Can you at least look right for it? Is your drawers clean?
You don't think about Just for Men when you got your beret on, but when you're in the dirt hole, you don't Just for Men nothing.
Real quick, what's Thunderbolts? I saw that on the list too.
Thunderbolts is kind of like the Marvel version of Suicide Squad a little bit. All right. Suicide Squad is a bunch of felons, basically. They're locked up. They have no right to walk the streets. But oh man, their name is escaping me right now. But the young it's gonna come as soon as we get off of here. But the young lady who watches over them, they put something in their necks so that they have to complete missions, so that we can actually get them to do things that are off the books. And if you go astray, then we can just blow you up. So this Thunderbolts is similar to that. It's a bunch of misfit heroes, i.e. Bucky from who's also known as the Winter Soldier. We've got the Red Guardian. We've got Yelena who's Black Widow's sister. We've also got the Taskmaster, who frankly is a Spider-Man spinoff. And I don't normally speak on, gender and race changes and stuff like that, but it was a little weird that she, that it was revealed to be the woman that it was. A woman, fine, but she was like slender and weak and all that. And Taskmaster's a real badass, so it was just kind of weird to see that. And a bunch of other characters, including Baron Zemo, who normally led it in the comics. Now they're all basically half-ass heroes. They're not really like the actual. They're the misfit type heroes. And so the purpose of this is kind of a band of misfits who don't really. They're all anti-heroes. And so when they come together to kind of like clean things up, the interesting part about this, and I'll try to be quick, brief on this, Thunderbolts were originally created in the comics to try to round up the superheroes that would not sign the Sokovia Accords, so that they actually were not allowed to have superpowers without being registered, which is what the whole Captain America Civil War. I feel like I go full geek when I be like,
no, I like that.
Tommy gets where he's like, okay, you lost me.
No, that's good.
But that's what happened.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I don't need a bunch of people with laser eyes walking around my kids that I have no idea.
No.
I need them
I
now.
go into the bathroom. I tell my daughter to go in the ladies' room, and she's in there with some lady that's got 25 tentacles.
I don't need my kids using the same bathroom.
I'll tell you what, Spider-Man. I'll tell you what, Spider-Man. If you start using the restroom my daughter's using, you're gonna lose your web shooters.
Oh my God! What about? Are we banning these comic books?
I'll tell you right now, Vince Taylor. If I go to Target and Maisie says I need to use the bathroom, and I catch Doc Ock in there, and Doc Octopus is in there, I'll tell you right now.
You said Doc Ock drinks Bud Light. You're gonna boycott his.
Who was the super good actor that played the original Dr. Octopus?
His name was Alfred Molina.
Yes, Alfred Molina. That's still my favorite villain that we ever had because the guy was such a good actor.
Was it the bad guy from No Country for Old Men?
Same haircut. Same haircut.
Well, he actually and odd observation. Alfred Molina was also the guy who betrayed Indiana Jones in the Raiders of the Lost Ark. If you recall, when the ball came down, it was rolling down, and then Indiana Jones was like, right before the ball ran down, he's like, yo, throw me the medallion. He's like, quick, we don't have time. Throw me the rope. He's like, throw me the medallion. He throws me the rope. He's like, adios, amigo. And then he goes to the next room, and he's like, he got spiked through the head. Sorry, random fact.
No,
those are things I know for.
That's good. That's good.
So one last movie I saw in here that I saw Spider-Man 4 is coming out, and then Ironheart in June. What's Ironheart?
Oh, well, don't worry about it. It's a girl. You don't want to hear that. That's not a reality.
It's like Iron
but
Man.
Ironheart, just a quick for those who don't misogynize away their project.
Okay, yeah.
I'm getting a call. The actual Ironheart is based on a young lady named Kiki
Shepard.
Riri Williams.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Kiki Shepard.
Riri Williams.
Man, if it were Kiki Shepard, I would tune in because Kiki Shepard made me a young boy. He made me a man.
Oh, she did? Oh, for real?
I used to watch Apollo. I used to watch Night at the Apollo every night at midnight. Oh, my God, those big,
you was tuning in for these, right?
Yeah,
That's what it was. You like to see Kiki. Yeah, okay. Well, it's not Kiki Shepard. It's Riri Williams, all right? And she's a minor, so calm down. Actually, I think she's in college in this series. She was in Wakanda Forever, but in the comics, she's known as the young prodigy at 14, which was able to duplicate Stark Tech, all right, on her own.
I know this story.
My daughter... Yeah, my daughter and I had her cosplay as Riri Williams like 10 years ago, like way before they even started discussing these projects, because it was so astounding in the comics that they were releasing a young black American woman who was smarter than Tony Stark and was known to be the next. So basically, this Ironheart, you're going to see Riri Williams start to develop herself into being a potential, not replacement, but some sort of stand-in for Tony Stark. Him and her and War Machine probably going to work together. Look forward to that. But talking about the Spider-Man movie, hella excited about this time because check it. This is the time in which we're going to start integrating the different companies that own Spider-Man rights, right? So right now, Sony owns the rights to Spider-Man, but they've given some to the MCU with Marvel Studios. Stay with me. That's why you see Spider-Man 3 with actually Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, the original OGs, but those characters, Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, are owned by Sony, not actual Marvel Studios. Stay with me. Now, the newest Spider-Man movie installment is called Enter the Spider-Verse. That has animated characters playing Spider-Man. this next Spider-Verse, the final installment of the trilogy, the Spider-Verse, I think it's not Far From Home, it's something Home. They're going to finally end that saga so that they can bring in a live-action version of Miles Morales, who's the young black and Latino Spider-Man. So in Spider-Man 4, we'll finally start to see Tom Holland start to pass the baton from him being the Spider-Man that we've known to Spider-Woman, more than likely. I wonder which Spider-Woman they're going to go with. But probably the one that they have in because they made a new black one in the Spider-Verse. And, of course, Miles Morales. The question is, on the Nerdverse, who will be the one chosen to play Miles Morales? Because whoever that is going to carry Marvel for the next 10-something years. And that is a huge question.
I was really hoping we would get to this point because there have been people kicked around for years about who should play Miles. Because he is, in my opinion, as a 48-year-old man who enjoys comics, casually, I think that's the future because it is. That guy is a guy that your boys, I know for a fact they like that character. Maisie likes that character. Everybody likes that character. That's the guy. Man. So who plays it? What's his age? Yeah, I mean, we have some guys that would have been great, but they've aged out by now.
Yeah, so many have aged out. Right now, the Eye of Mordor is on Renzi Felix, excuse me. He actually played in a Marvel show called The Runaways, and he's also in The Penguin. He plays Victor. Now, the reason why some like Renzi is because he is black and Latino. I think he's Dominican, not Puerto Rican like Miles, but he kind of resembles the character. Yeah. Some people in the black community, however, are a little cautious about the colorism that exists in the black community. They want to make sure that Miles Morales maintains the shade of skin, his complexion that he had in the movies, and not get too lightened. Because there's some people that believe that lighter is better. When it comes to Hollywood, some folks are like,
Tommy says that all the time. Turn the lights on in here. Brighter is better.
I was gonna say, bring back Wesley Snipes.
That's the thing too,
dude. Let's do old Miles, old grumpy Miles. Miles don't pay
Uncle
Miles.
Uncle Miles hates taxes.
Tax evasion, Miles.
We're out of time.
Before we leave, I just found it right here. December 2025. Is going to be my favorite Marvel movie of all time. Wonder Man.
Wonder Man.
That's a
Wonder
show.
Woman. Oh, it's a show?
Yeah. It's a show, yeah. It's gonna be a show on Disney Plus, yeah. And Wonder Man's, he's got a lot. It's kind of crazy. And don't let me go down this rabbit hole because Wonder Man at one point in time was like Mr. Captain Marvel, and like there's a whole other rabbit hole. So yeah, look forward to that. But it's not Wonder Man as in like an answer for Wonder Woman.
I want to see it. I want to see. You know what I would do if I were Wonder Man? I would get naked and I'd fly around in my invisible jet so everybody'd have to see my beehole.
Would you go to the bathroom? Or would you
No. I wouldn't go with them. Not in my own jet. But I would, when I go to sit down, I would part my cheeks.
Would you like hover over like the Orlando City Soccer games?
No, I'd be doing circles around. I'd be doing circles around iHeart, just saying, "Look at me, Jack! Look at me!"
You know what I missed? I missed the joke about Wonder Woman flying around.
You know what's this? What's this? You ever see this joke? I'm doing a hand joke. What's this? That's Superman. That's Superman flying over a nudist colony.
Yo, oh my God, nah, bro. Well, that's impressive.
That's his ding dong hanging down. My dad told me that joke.
That's impressive.
My dad told me that joke.
I did want to mention.
What do you call Dolly Parton doing the backstroke? Islands in the stream.
Come on.
Yo,
go ahead.
So right before I go, I just wanted to say that I did have an interesting experience just before by the way, the election happened, and I gotta say I'm extremely disappointed. I'm disappointed in Florida for not legalizing marijuana. I don't know what's wrong with it.
I was waiting to see what you were saying.
It's the second time. And Trump supported it, which means there's people that voted for Trump and against the weed, and I really do not understand it.
Yeah.
So y'all got to tell me. Let me know what's going on,
It's
bro.
gonna
Like,
stink
why
everywhere,
y'all do
though.
this?
You saw the commercials. I was walking down the road.
That's what Grady Judd told me.
Yeah, it smells like weed everywhere. Grady Judd has a little doll. He has a doll of himself now.
Vince, I think it's just the result of the fact that all of us have weed already. There's a weed store in every.
Man,
and we
I
just
got a gram in my pocket right now, Vince.
You go to the weed
hey.
doctor. Guess what? You don't need nothing. You just go there and then you pay your $100.
Yeah.
And they give you a license.
Here's the
and
thing.
you can go buy unlimited. Well,
Yeah.
there's kind of a limit, but the limit is so gigantic.
I don't
that
know.
But why not recreational? Like, why not make it so that,
But
it can become.
like you can go right now to Chronic Guru and you don't need a card and you walk in there and
Yeah.
they just give you free weed and you just smoke it wherever you want. And then if a cop sees you, he's not.
They don't care. The cops don't care.
Yeah, because you bought it legally at Chronic Guru.
The cops told me, they're like, we don't care unless you know.
Well, that's not the one that took me to jail.
You know,
said.
we care.
Well, I think that we need to do better, Florida. So, I mean, I don't know what it is, but I'm going to keep doing what I've been doing. But damn, man, it'd be nice if we can actually be able to walk into a store without a card and just be like, yo, let me get an eighth of this and eighth of that, and not have to worry about whether or not my card is expired. So come on, man. Plus, industry, guys. Let's think about the kind of freaking tourism it's going to cause. Anyway.
The
last point.
Yeah.
I don't know why no one voted in. It seemed like no one cares about weed. Everybody's like, hey, you care about weed? No, I don't. Do whatever you want. Like, no, I've never even met. I haven't met someone in the past 10 years that has literally told me they cared about anybody's weed or what. Like, now, it seems like more business-wise that maybe it's something way more complicated, and then it's like that's why they're not ready for. I don't know.
Yeah, it's above what we know.
Either way, like right when that happened, like before the election, I don't know if y'all saw this, but this dude named Tony Hinchcliffe got on a rally stage and told some jokes about Puerto Ricans.
Yeah, he said
some of which I'm sure.
He said they was a garbage dump.
Yeah. I call him Trash Island Hinchcliffe.
Yeah. I watched the set.
Yeah.
Now, here's the funny thing about that. Like, I don't know if y'all know, but I'm on tour. I do tour. I don't say I'm on tour, but I do go on the road with Cam Patterson and David Jolly. We just David Jolly and Cam, we all just did Sacramento together. This is right after Tony, and Tony is the reason why Cam and David have kind of gone up to where they are right now. I don't know if y'all watched Kill Tony or not.
Yeah,
for
Tony,
sure. Yeah, extremely familiar.
We talked to Jolly about it. Yeah.
So it's a big deal. So it's so funny because when it happened, my family starts calling me about how bad this it is, and I had the misfortune of having to inform them that I can't really be too mad because this dude put money in my pocket.
Yeah, he's got you out on the road. Yeah, and he fills the seats too. That's the thing.
If every show is sold out.
Yeah, he's gonna fill the seats and tell jokes, and that's what he did there. And
yeah. And sometimes the jokes are offensive. That's what jokes are.
Yeah, I mean
that's what
that
they
whole
are.
thing was all drawn up by design, and everyone knew what they were doing with that.
Yeah, now whether or not it belonged in like politics, probably that's maybe
a
bad
different thing to talk about.
I don't know, but him telling jokes is like that's what comedians do. So to me, I don't know.
Yeah,
it's one of those things.
You know him. I mean, you work with him, so you know him.
Yeah, he's a funny guy. I just had to kind of play around with it because you couldn't avoid it. So all I did was tell everybody, look, there's a dude out there saying Puerto Rico is a floating pile of trash. And everybody got mad about it. Everybody disagreed except for the Mexicans. Not damn Mexican come out to disagree with the Puerto because they can't stand each other. And that definitely got some applause when I was in Sacramento.
Oh, well, the Cubans and the Puerto Ricans, that's what I know, don't get along.
Yeah.
I grew up in Miami.
It's too hard to
tell. And the Cubans tell me, they're like, the Puerto Ricans are up north, and we stay apart from each other. And the Puerto Ricans, they say that Cubans are down south. They don't come up here.
Right, like it has a basic white. I don't know who's fighting. I don't know who's warring with each other. I mean, I love everybody.
Do you? Okay. Right.
Well, I mean, we'll talk later. Well, my man, thanks so much.
Because you didn't seem to like Rocket.
No, I don't like raccoons. Never have. Hey, thank you so much for doing this, man. We appreciate you being on the show. You got any shows coming up soon?
Yeah, actually, I think I have a few seats left, but it's going real fast for my local. I tend to do every year that bonkers show
Nice.
downtown Orlando at the corner. So definitely bring a bulletproof vest just in case. But yes, December 6th and 7th, I will be at the corner at Bonkers Orlando. Get your tickets on bonkerscomedy.com.
There you go.
And definitely all Tom and Dan friends get in free if you mention my name and sneak in through the back.
There
All right.
you go.
Well,
Vince,
Vince, we love you, man.
thank you, man. We appreciate
Thanks,
it.
guys. Appreciate